Hello and welcome to another edition of Community Tapestry. I'm Napoleon Bell and I'm the Executive Director with the City of Columbus Community Relations Commission. And to my side here we have
Toni Teague. It's great to be back.
It is great to be back. And you know, we are back in a great space. We are at the Cultural Arts Center. It's amazing here at the Cultural Arts Center, and it's actually a part of Recreation and Parks. And we're going to learn so much more about what's going on here. And also, while we're here, we are shooting, I say live, because you know, classes are still going on, things are still happening right around here. So if you hear some noises, that's because they're banging away or making clay or whatever they do here at the Cultural Arts Center. We're going to find out more about that with our guests. To the left here, we have Mr. Jeff Martin, and he is the arts administrator here at the Cultural Arts Center. So we'd like to welcome you to the program.
Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having us, most definitely. And then next to him is the assistant art administrator, Mr. Todd Camp.
Thanks for
I'd
being
like to
here.
welcome you to the show, and we like to thank you for allowing us to be here. First of all, even though my fingers and hand I can't draw a lick or do I try to put together anything.
Stick figure.
Yeah, very nice stick figures, most definitely. But I'm finding out that I need to come here to really learn how to do those type of things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things it seems like there are to learn here, but it's amazing that the Cultural Arts Center seems to be one of the best kept secrets here.
It really is so. Well, let me step back though, because being a secret and being actually in the heart,
we don't love that it's a secret. So let's talk a little bit about it.
That's what we're trying to get out. We want to make sure it's no longer a secret, because a lot of people make use of in the resources here, but we want to make sure that everybody has that opportunity. Right. So where exactly, first of all, is this building? Where are we located?
Well, that's a great question, and that's a good place to start. The physical address here is 139 West Main Street, and I bet so many people have walked past or driven past this building and not actually known what's inside. It doesn't quite look like an art center from the outside. It's a pretty big, imposing brick building. It's got a great big brick wall on the outside of it that kind of makes you wonder, am I allowed in that building? But we try to make it as welcoming as possible. Another landmark that I think is really easy to notice is Bicentennial Park is right across the street from us. And I know that we see thousands of kids and families coming downtown. You've probably seen the wonderful fountains that Recreation and Parks maintains downtown. They're gorgeous and they're so fun to play in. For families who've been downtown, we're right across the street from there. So I think a lot of people come to us for the first time during the Columbus Arts Festival that happens right on the riverfront every year. We're lucky enough to be right on the Arts Festival path, so a lot of people wander in sometimes for the first time during that festival. And we usually see maybe 5,000, 6,000 people on that Arts Festival weekend like we did just a few weeks ago.
Wow.
Can you give people a few more landmarks, because there's some other incredible things that are right near you that people visit often, and maybe that too will help them?
Sure, we're right on the edge of Franklinton. So right now Franklinton is hot. Lots of things happening, lots of people coming down to Franklinton, lots of businesses opening up, restaurants, bars. There's big plans for Franklinton. So we're really excited to be kind of a connector to downtown from Franklinton, and be involved with all of the fantastic things going on over there, including 400 West Rich and Glass Access coming down, and Idea Foundry. So we're really excited about being here.
Location.
If you go the other way too, if you head downtown a little bit, then you've got the Urban Arts Space down here, you've got the Rife Gallery, you've got the Hawk Gallery. So people really can come downtown and see a lot of visual arts right here.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
So speaking of visual arts, you've got some history in the arts community. So tell us about you personally and your experience.
You want to start?
Sure. Well, as a graduate of Columbus College of Art and Design, I graduated some years ago and have stayed in Columbus ever since. But I began my work with Columbus Recreation and Parks right out of college. And that was nearly 30 years ago now. but I've come back full circle now to be here at the Cultural Arts Center, and I'm loving every second of being here as a visual artist, but also being able to kind of connect with artists that are coming into us, putting together these wonderful exhibitions, the workshops that happen here, the classes, all of those things just kind of culminate in this building, and there's just a real energy that happens in this building when all those things are going on, and some of our 725 students that we have enrolled per week come, and it's just a magical atmosphere that happens here.
Now, let me ask you though real quick before we get to you, Jeff. Being from CCAD, so what is, and actually doing the artwork, what is your thing? What is it clay? Is it painting? What is it? Well,
I started with clay, and actually that was the only thing that I didn't do at CCAD. And when I came to Recreation and Parks, they said, we want you to teach us clay class. And I said, oh no, what am I going to do? I've never done clay. So I sat down with an instructor, picked up clay, and I've been doing clay for about the length of that time, 30 years. Now, with a child now and some other things, I've gone to painting. So I'm now a visual artist and painter that way. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
A man of many talents.
Yeah, definitely. Renaissance man.
That's right. Well, what about you, Jeff?
I came to the Cultural Arts Center on a little different way. I actually studied theater when I was growing up. I went to college studying acting, and that's something I did coming out of college, and that's what kept me here in Columbus. And I ended up coming to the Recreation and Parks Department to help out with the theater program at the Davis Discovery Center. A lot of people know that program. I spent several years there. What I realized in that time is I really loved not even just myself performing anymore. I really loved giving other people opportunities to make art. And that's something that I think I've carried over to the Cultural Arts Center as well. Now that I'm on the administrative staff here, I really love that Todd and I and the rest of the team here, all the staff, all the instructors, give opportunities to other people every week to come in and create their passions and see them unfold.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit a couple of artists downstairs, and they were making jewelry, and to look at, Paul was saying, this piece is going to become a bracelet, and I was thinking, how did you look at that piece of metal and decide this is going to be a bracelet?
Doesn't look anything like a bracelet.
Right, but when you look at their finished pieces and where, the inception of where they came from, it's like, wow, what an amazing thing to be able to create.
It's definitely remarkable. And we talk about the people who come here as students, but I swear half of these people could probably teach a class themselves. They're just true artisans who just truly understand their craft and have that, like you were talking about, have that vision where they can look at a blank canvas or a piece of metal and say, I have this idea that's just been in my head that I'm going to create now. And it's really exciting to see that unfold and then see, for instance, our gift shop that we have here. It's a great place for people to come and step in there and see just an array of the kind of creations that people make here at the studios.
Well, let me ask then, in regards to that, and because it sounds like you have so many programs. So let's first start off about you said the metal work is
Jewelry?
The jewelry.
Yeah, that's one of our most popular programs. In fact, it's a smaller studio. You can fit 16 students at a time. So a lot of times those sell out. So we always say, the jewelry artist, get on that registration site early to get in.
And how would they register so that we can say it a few times throughout the show?
That's a great question. What they can do very simply is they can go to either the Columbus Recreation and Parks Department's website and link to the registration site for all of Recreation Parks, or they can go to the Cultural Arts Center's website, and they can just Google either of those things and find those sites, and then they can click over. There's a registration site that all of Recreation Parks uses. It's very simple. You create a free account, and then you and your family can all get logged on to that whenever you want, and just sign up for any of the classes at any of the rec centers, including our Cultural Arts Center.
And the prices seem really reasonable.
Well, that's something that the department as a whole really tries to focus on, as we really try to make the classes and the camps affordable so that just about everyone in this city can take part in these experiences. We don't want to exclude people.
So arts is for everyone.
Absolutely.
That's well put. Thank you. I like that.
Well, I mean, usually it's kind of prohibitive, so it's wonderful to come here and see. When I was looking at the offerings, I was thinking I might want to take a couple of classes, but it's really inclusive, and I'm glad it's for everyone.
Absolutely. And to add to that, we have scholarships available for anybody that it's just prohibitive. If you have, all you have to do is fill out simple forms, and away you go. And we want to include you. Yes.
A class like you mentioned, the jewelry class, starts out at $55, and that's for an 8-week session. So you actually get to spend 3 hours a week with your class and your instructor over 8 weeks. That's a pretty big chunk of time for $55. Right. So even if you're the kind of person who thinks, I have this idea in my head, or I'd really like to try something, but I don't know. I don't know that I can jump in. Hopefully that at that price, people can consider that something they can just give it a shot and test the waters a little bit.
All right. So well, let me ask. So about that, because you say it's 8 weeks, and is there's an instructor there during that entire 8 weeks for those 3 hours?
Right.
Now, what about all the canvases we talk about? Is that all part of that $55, or is there additional costs or anything like that? But and then where do you go from there?
Yeah, do you want?
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say about our instructors, because they are absolutely top-notch instructors in this city. Well-known, have been here. Some of our instructors have been here 25 years.
Yeah.
So amazing quality that they bring to their students. So I always have to give a shout-out to them. But in terms of the materials, there is a materials fee that goes along with that. Very minimal, $15 for most classes. That covers a lot of your materials. But a lot of those are also you bring in yourself. So the canvases, the paints, just dependent on the class that you're in. Mm-hmm.
So and the classes are there. So do you have, like me, would be a novice class, or
Like me, I'd be an intermediate.
Yes, intermediate. So I would be stick figures. She would be stick figures and circles. But with that, I mean, is there the different levels of classes? Or are you all working together on these things? Because
There's a few different options. We do have some very specific basic beginner classes. Like for instance, like for drawing, we have a basic drawing class, and that's a great time. That's a great place for someone to just start right there.
That's yours.
That's yours, I think. And then you could start to progress into some of the other intermediate classes or the advanced classes. But that's not always the case. Some of our classes, what we do is we arrange it so that we have beginners and intermediate advanced students working alongside. What's really wonderful about that is it actually, and I love this about it, it creates sort of a community of mentoring going on. So it's not necessarily just the teacher. If the teacher's there with 15 or 20 students, there may be an advanced student who sees a beginner struggling with something and said, "Have you tried this?" And it's really fun to see that connection being made, and then some of those students who've been here for a while becoming the teachers themselves.
wow.
And Napoleon, there's always people coming in saying, "I can't even draw a stick figure." My reply to that is, "Why do you want to draw a stick figure? Let's come down here and make some art."
That is very true. Well, then I can make some art. Might not know what it looks like, but I can make some art.
So we've talked about jewelry, the jewelry classes. We've talked about the drawing classes. There's a few others that are offered.
It's the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Yeah.
Give us a rundown of just a few more.
We have a huge ceramic studio, beautiful. Comparative to any college ceramic studio around, and they make their own glazes down there. They formulate those with raw materials. They have 8 potter's wheels down there that are electric wheels. They have 6 kick wheels. There's hand building, there's wheel throwing, sculpture. That's just in that ceramics area. Then on beyond that, we have a bronze foundry, which is very rare in the city of Columbus to be able to pour bronze. And again, we have one of the topmost bronze teachers here in the city right here with us. And so we're very excited about that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So when we think about the arts festival, because for a lot of people that's really their exposure to arts, maybe the Columbus Museum of Art and a couple of other places, but this is really one of those amazing gems. And I'm also thinking, have you had people come here who have had this place on their bucket list to take a class here and to learn some things?
Yeah, we have a pretty wide range of students that take advantage of it. We are an adult facility, so the classes are for ages 18 and up. So that's important to note. And I think a lot of the students here really appreciate that they have a place that's kind of their own, you know, that an environment where they feel comfortable and with other adults, and that's kind of cool. Right. But we do have people who, it was funny, I was at the front desk helping out last week, and somebody said to me, she said, I'm taking 2 classes this time. And I said, oh, that's great. She said, yeah, I just retired. She said, I had to retire because I didn't have enough time to take the classes here. So I think there's definitely people who are waiting and waiting, you know, for that time in their life where they have a little extra time to sign up. But we try to make it easy. We have classes going all day long. We have classes in the morning from 9 to noon, in the afternoon from 1 to 4, and then we have evening classes too from 7 to 10. So if you're somebody who works during the day, then you can certainly get home, get dinner, or stop downtown, have a bite to eat across the street here, and then just pop down here and do your ceramic class or your jewelry class.
That's right.
Now you talked about some of the other programs, and one of the programs I heard about also that's upstairs is a loom or something, or what?
Looms, absolutely, yeah. We have 30 weaving looms up on the 3rd floor. One of which is.
So when I took basket weaving in high school, no,
we're talking fabric weaving here. Yeah. So they do everything there in the floor below. They take raw wool, dye it the color that they need it, spin it out into thread or into yarn, and then weave it, take it upstairs and weave it on the loom. So there's some beautiful textiles that happen there. There's also a huge dye area that's there where they, again, formulate all of their dyes. There's a large stove where they cook up all these dyes, and then everything from tie-dye to screen printing and stamping, and just beautiful fabrics come out of there.
So when you went to college, and you thought you would get your first job, did you ever think that it would be a city job would be so amazing?
Well, you know, it really formed me for my entire career. That first job did. Just learning, working with I was in community recreation, so I worked in the community centers, working specifically with children, and it changed my life so much that that's really what I wanted to do then, and I really wanted to progress through, and then I did that for about 10 years right out of college, and left and did some other programs, but now I'm back again after about 13 years, so it's great to be home. I say this is the place that really formed me in my whole career. So.
Well, and looking at careers and career in art, have you noticed people who have come through the program and been through it and who now become that, you know, that incredible artist, or have they stopped? Do you know of any? Yeah, do you know of any examples of? You know, tell us about some of those, because I'm sure so many have come through here.
Well, we're always excited to hear when one of our instructors or one of the students who take classes here goes on to have some success outside of the center, in the community, or even beyond that. There's been some really recent, some fun stories. Occasionally we'll hear about one of our students going out for one of the shows at the state fair, and then getting accepted, you know, juried into those exhibitions, which is a big honor for sure. Just recently we had two different people from the center who got juried into the arts festivals booths. That gives the artists the ability to sell their work to all those thousands of people who and that's not something you just sign up to do. There's a panel who has to accept you, so certainly they're looking for the highest quality of work. Wow. And so one of our instructors, Sharon Putter, who does, she's a Renaissance woman herself. She does jewelry, printmaking, and drawing here at the center. She got juried in to show her jewelry at the festival. And not only that, one of our weavers, who's taken here for a long time, Karen Moulier, she was just named an emerging artist by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, and she was juried into the arts festival as well. So we always love to shout their names and celebrate those folks who go on to do other things.
Exactly. Well, I'm sorry, did you?
I was also going to add that one thing we do during the Arts Festival is our student faculty exhibition. So during the Arts Festival time, we bring together all the studios in this gallery, so everybody gets to submit 2 works of art. This year we had a juror that would choose one of those works of art, so everybody that submitted was guaranteed to get one piece in. We had a well-known artist here in Columbus, Queen Brooks, who also worked for Columbus Recreation and Parks way back. She was our juror this time, so she chose the show. Then we assembled it in this gallery, and it was amazing to see all of the studios come together, because we don't really get a chance to see individual pieces. They're kind of going in and out the doors and things, but to see all of that work together that goes on under this roof, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Wow. So tell us about some of the exhibitions that you've had. You've got, of course, some work that's currently displayed, and who's coming next?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have 2 galleries, I should say, first of all. We have the room we're sitting in right now is our largest of the 2. This is the main hall gallery, and we feature local and regional artists in this space. And then upstairs on our 3rd floor, folks can visit our loft gallery. It's a little bit smaller space where we actually get a chance to feature some of the students who take classes here. So occasionally someone will have created enough work that they'll say, I think I have enough to maybe show some of this. And that's a really exciting experience for those people. That's, like I said, it's a smaller gallery, so it's a less overwhelming space. You can imagine this big room. It'd be tough to fill if you.
Yeah, if I had to fill this myself, I'd be overwhelmed.
A little panicked.
Yeah, probably. But we always have shows going on here, and they're always free for people to come and see. That's one thing I want people to know, is they can always walk in here Monday through Saturday and see 2 shows free of charge anytime. So right now we're looking at the work in the background here. You can see some lovely painting and drawing studies here of the work of an artist named Boriana Rusinova Aina, who actually we were lucky enough to have on staff here 2 years ago. She was one of our drawing and painting faculty. She's moved on, like many artists do. That she's on to a grad school at OSU right now. But our one caveat when we let her go from the Cultural Arts Center is said, we have to have you back to show your work sometime in the gallery. She's an artist who actually, she's an interesting story. She grew up in Bulgaria until she was a teenager, and then came to Columbus to go to CCAD, Columbus College of Art and Design. She came all the way over here. So we're really lucky. She's an amazing artist, and we're lucky to have her in Columbus. And I think it's great to hear those kinds of stories about people coming from other countries to Columbus because of this great art scene here.
I have to say that the Cultural Arts Center is exactly what the Community Tapestry show is all about. We are about showcasing, how Columbus community is woven together, and just to see so much art, and to see, the fact that we're maintaining our creative class. You got away from us once, but you came back.
You saw the error of your ways.
I
And you came back.
Yeah, I had to come back.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question, because this is just because I'm not good with art and don't know art. Is there, like what we have here, is there a certain style? They talk about the styles of art, so let's, for example, this with this exhibition that you have here now, is there a certain style to this? What style is it?
It's contemporary in approach right now, and it was great because I got to hear Boriana yesterday. We have a program here called Conversations and Coffee. Every Thursday at noon until 1, again, a free program here. It's been going on for 33 years or more. Ellen O'Shaughnessy has been a wonderful host for that length of time. And so we got to hear Boriana talk about her art yesterday, and that's a rarity, because a lot of times you go into galleries or museums and you see the work on the walls, but you don't really get to hear the artist talk or even know who they are. So this is a really unique opportunity for people to meet the artist, ask questions, and hear what the stories are behind the work. So it was really interesting to hear her talk about the studies, especially the ones here, that were just simply about creating space. And if you see how these kind of go back to a convergent perspective, that's all these were just kind of studies and trying to create that atmosphere of space. And then that really kind of comes through the rest of her work around the gallery as well.
Wow.
Conversations and Coffee is one great program that we have. That I think is one of the coolest things we do actually, but because it's mystifying. Like you said, an artist or a person comes into a gallery space and sometimes they feel a little overwhelmed by what they see. They're not sure how to take it all in. But those kind of programs where we give the public a chance to hear the artists talk about their work and what they're thinking. We've done other things too that we're really working to make the gallery more interactive. Things like, you've probably seen those little QR codes. You see those on products everywhere, right? So some of the things we've done for past shows that was kind of fun is we'll put a little QR code up next to some of the artwork, and then someone can walk in with a smartphone and then scan that code and then pull up a little bit more information about that artist, or we've done actually the artists do short videos about their work, so you can walk right in, even if it's not Thursday at noon. Sometimes you can actually hear them talk about the pieces.
It's kind of like a walking tutorial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That is.
I'd like to connect programming as well, educational programming. So we do tours for school groups, and we also do public programs, again, for free, that connect with a lot of the exhibitions that we have here. For instance, there was one that we asked the gallery owners from the Short North, a select number, to come and talk about how to start an art collection. It was called Art Collecting 101, and we really focused in on the young professionals because they are looking to buy some art, and how do you start that? What's the process? How do you even do that? And so it was a really fun evening, interactive, ask questions. It was just a great evening.
Oh, I totally agree with that. That's the only way that I will buy a piece, when I have an opportunity to talk with the artist and hear the story. So a piece might capture my eye. A local artist that I love is Nora Musu, and when I get a chance to see her work, I'm captivated. But once she tells me the story, then it all comes to light. But it's that way with anyone.
Sure.
So I would definitely love to see one of those.
Afterwards. I have some things for sale. So,
yeah. Tell me a good story.
We're hanging out here with a boatload
Right,
of stuff.
right.
Yeah, I can see it now. Well, we got about 3 minutes left, and just wanted to ask you. So this, a great exhibition going on now. What are we looking at to the future?
Yeah, coming up, we've got several exciting shows coming up. In August, I'll pull my list out because I want to get the dates. In August, we have a local artist named Linda McClanahan, who creates these really wonderful, large, enameled paintings. A lot of images, actually, of Columbus that you'll see, and you'll recognize some of those pieces. They're almost like she said she really loves like ancient art and the static nature of that, the stillness of it. So she kind of creates these big panels that almost look like a page out of a comic book, that still kind of feeling. She really relies on the viewer to kind of find the emotion, the energy in it. They're beautiful, and it's a different technique too, this enamel painting. It really makes for a different surface and a different, really bright, wonderful technique that I think people will really enjoy. That one is August 1st through August 30th. Then coming up after that, in September, we have an artist named Christine Gio Ryan, who does. We've been knocked off our feet by this work. She does these really wonderful abstract mixed media pieces. And mixed media might not be a term that everybody knows, but it essentially means taking other forms, like not just painting, but maybe different pieces of paper or any kind of material, sand, or lots of different things that you would incorporate into a piece. She creates these mixed media collage pieces, and what's really interesting about them is they're modular. So she creates these square panels, and by turning them, and actually she's told us that the people who come into the gallery here are actually going to be able to do this. They'll be able to alter the artwork to kind of create the show themselves. So by turning the two pieces, they actually interact in different sides, and they still relate to each other, and you've created a kind of a brand new piece of artwork. Wow. So she's been really interested in that technique, and that's been really fun. And just after Christine, we have a really well-known figure in Columbus that you've probably heard of, Jim Arter. He's pretty well known. He's been for years. He's recently retired, but he's been part of the Children of the Future, GCAC's Artist in Schools program, and he's been just an amazing force for arts education in Columbus, Ohio. He's going to come to us and do a retrospective of the work he's done with young people and his own artwork. A lot of people don't know him as an artist himself, but he's an artist too. So we're really excited about his show, and that will be in October.
On that one, there's going to be some really neat things going on with that one. Yeah.
But people can jump on our website, culturalartscenteronline.org, at any time and see all of the classes, all of the exhibitions, all of the workshops that we offer.
Excellent. Well, you know what? This has been great. Talking to both of you,
And refreshing.
and refreshing, and just
inspiring,
amazing. All those ings. This has really been great and enlightening, because I'm going to go from stick figures to circles. I know I am. But
Come down, take a class.
Well,
you'll be
most
amazed.
definitely.
Yeah.
And you demonstrated that art is for everyone.
We definitely look forward to it. And real quick, a phone number or website that they can go to get signed up and get registered, and to take a look at what else you have to offer.
Yeah, people can call us at 614-645-7047, or they can jump onto our website. It's culturalartcenteronline.org.
Excellent. Well, thank you, both of you, for
Thank
having
you.
us here.
Yes.
And we'd like to thank the Cultural Arts Center for having us. And this is not the end of it. We've got another segment coming up right after this commercial break.
Beautiful space. Thank you.
All right.